Good morning. I call the July 28, 2015 Saline County Commission and Public Forum and Meeting to order. Will everyone rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Will the clerk call the roll?
Commissioner Shadwick.
Here.
Commissioner Guile.
Here.
Commissioner Price.
Here.
Commissioner Larson.
Here.
And Commissioner Smith.
Here.
Thank you.
We'll start with the public forum. It's a time for citizens to speak on any issue that's not on the current agenda. Today is normally limited to 3 minutes. Is there anyone that would like to come forward at this time?
Ray Hruska, 235 North Santa Fe. I'd just like to make a comment here about the County Commission is starting work on the Health Department bylaws in room 209. Now's your chance to make a difference and get involved. The public is welcome on Tuesday mornings to attend. I would just like to invite every person at the public to come and see what's going on.
All right, thank you. Seeing no one else, I'll bring it back to the commission for regular business. Item number 1.
It's a request for action 167-15, Kansas Department of Corrections Adult Fiscal Year 2016 revised budget with Annie Grievous, Community Corrections Director.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is the Community Corrections Show. You noticed that, right?
Yeah, I did notice.
Sorry. It's year-end. Most of it's year-end things, so if you've been here for more than a year, you saw me last year at this time doing this exact same things. We submitted a grant and a budget back in May to the Department of Corrections for Adult Services in the amount of $905,201. Gratefully, they awarded us with $12,840 more. So we have to do a revised budget. So the total revised budget's $918.42. We put that entire $12,840 in electronic monitoring, GPS electronic monitoring, as I described to you earlier. It's a much needed service that we haven't utilized for years due to lack of funding for it. It'd be great for those clients that are on house arrest. Judge Johnson in drug court may put them on house arrest or limit their curfew. The GPS monitoring allows us to go on to the internet and actually trace them and follow where they are at all times. So it's a good service. The only thing I'm having a little trouble with right now, believe it or not, is finding a contractual provider. We've made a couple contacts with 2 contractual providers. One is a contract with the state of Kansas, and the other is not. We're actually doing some drug court training right now in Washington, D.C., and they're also bringing some information back. So we'll find a provider, but I'd like to move forward with it as quick as possible. When you have that money, you need to utilize it, and we have plenty of clients to put it on. But anyway, that's a side note.
Like I said last week, I was just, I think it's a great idea. I thought we had somebody locally that did that.
There is.
There is, but just, okay.
Nothing.
There is. Okay.
But anyway, so we'll continue to pursue that and work on that, but we will roll that $12,840 into the GPS monitoring if approved by Commission today. It has been in front of the advisory board and has been signed by Todd Heitschmidt. And today I'm needing the chairperson, Commissioner Shadwick, and Don Merriman to sign so this can go in to the Department of Corrections.
All right. Questions of the director? Public comment? Bring it back to the commission for action.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the revised KDOC adult FY16 budget due to additional funding as recommended by staff.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Item number 2.
Thank you.
RFA 168-15 revised behavioral health grant funds, again with Annie Grievous.
This is on the opposite side. The behavioral health grant that we have submitted was in the amount of $243,129.53. All these services are substance and mental health services for clients. We contract with CKF for those services, and we have 3 staff hired through this grant application, 2 in my office and 1 at CKF. took a reduction of $32,550. That's significant when you look at it that way at front end. We've always gotten our full request over the years, but this year there was $3 million to be awarded and $4 million across the state requested. So for the first time, community corrections agencies that have never applied before did apply, which they should. It's a great opportunity and really good services for your clients. So anyway, our new budget is $210,579.53. The good thing is that it makes no change in our staffing. Everybody is retained without any bumps in the road there. We had $22,237.03 left over in unexpended funds for services that we did not utilize. KDOC has graciously allowed us to carry over. They usually do, as long as you don't have any problems. So we're carrying those funds over to this year, and we'll roll those into client services. So our reduction was really only $10,000 when you look at it, but the budget we're submitting is only in the amount of the award, which is $210,579.53. It went in front of the advisory board last week, got full approval, and now we're seeking Commissioner Shadwick's signature with approval from the commission to forward to KDOC. These are only adult services, I should stress
Right,
that.
that's right. Questions?
Annie, was this the document that you were mentioning last week that if, maybe that's not, maybe it's the next one. One of the documents you said if we ever wanted
It's
a
the
piece.
next one.
Okay, all right.
And I'll say that again for you.
Okay,
So you can
all right.
carry it in your back pocket.
All right. Yes, I'm going to put a star on that one.
Please do.
Thank you.
Public comment? Commission action?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve RFA 168-15, which is the approval of the revised budget for $210,579.53 as submitted by staff.
I second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Item
Thank
number
you.
3.
RFA 169-15, Federal Juvenile Assistance Grant Application for FY16, and again, Annie Grievous.
I just want to say the title is incorrect. It's Justice Assistance Grant, and it's not a juvenile grant at all. It's for drug court, so it's adult services only. I just wanted to correct that so you understood. We've applied for this grant multiple years in a row, always get good response, so I'm expecting good response again this year. This is the third time we've applied these dollars to drug court. We're requesting $64,787. It is to go fund the third drug court ISO that we have. As I explain every time I go out and talk about drug courts, Saline County graciously funds a major portion of drug court. Community corrections budget supplies some funding, and then the rest of it comes from the Justice Assistance Grant. So I like that a diversified program that is doing such good comes from several pots of money, and it also shows real support locally and at the state level that we can keep this program going. As you know, I think this program is one of the best. So we're requesting $64,787. These are federal funds. They are not state funds, but they are downloaded from the federal government to the states, and then the governor's office funnels it through and does the audits and monitors us with this grant. It is only for salary and benefits. That's all I ever request. There's no administration costs. We just want the salary and benefits. It's for Andrew Pellant, who's been in that position for quite some time. It is a slight increase from last year of a little over $2,000 due to salary increase and insurance benefit increase. But otherwise, that's all we ask for. And this is the document I said, if you ever want to know for this last year and this current year, what's going on in drug court, our expectations are and what our outcomes are going to be for the following year, this goes in your back pocket. This is one of the best tools that you could carry on if anybody ever asks you about drug court. You can always say, call Annie. I'm happy to talk to him. But I'm telling you, you thumb through here and you'll learn everything you need to know. So it's an excellent document. We're really shaking up some of our outcomes and changing some of our expectations of the drug court clients. We're stressing housing and employment more this year than we have in the past. So I'm excited to go into this year with this grant, and was in front of the board, did receive board approval. This grant runs through a portal. You don't send it in, so I don't need any signatures, but I do need permission from the commission to go ahead and send into the portal today.
All right, very good. When is the next drug court graduation?
August 31st. I mistold you last time I met. And at our board meeting, I corrected that, but I wanted you all to know August 31st.
Very good.
Thank you.
Yes.
And we have 24 graduates
So far
already.
to date. And one of the things I want to stress is, because Todd Hutchmidt and I talked about this, he said, you've been open 2 years, 24 graduates, that doesn't sound that great. Well, it's an 18-month program. So it really is exceptional that you've run everyone through these 24 people. They've completed an 18-month program, and we've only been in existence for 2 years. To have 24 graduates is great. We have 3 slated to for sure graduate on the 31st, and possibly 4 more going to fall into that mix. So we're really doing good things.
Okay, good.
We'll looking forward to the
Yeah, keep us
31st, so
Thank
thank
you.
you.
And
Yes.
I've been to all of them, and anybody that wants to attend them and see what really goes on, I recommend you come up and spend a time when it's scheduled.
Right?
You have to figure out when it's scheduled, but the August 31st, they'll probably be, what,
It'll be
10
around 2 o'clock
About
for
2 o'clock.
graduation. Drug court's always at 1 o'clock.
Okay,
So,
very good.
That's a Monday.
yes, always
Okay.
on a Monday. Thank you.
Public comment on this issue? Commission action?
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the contingency of this grant as requested by staff, number 169-15. Federal, that's not a juvenile, right? It's a.
Right, it's a
an
justice
adult-
assistance
Justice.
grant.
Yeah, adult
It's all
justice.
adult.
Mm-hmm, okay. Adult justice.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Item number 4.
This, oh, I'm sorry.
Turn the page.
I've been
She's
roll-
ready to
roll.
go.
I'm ready to roll.
RFA 170-15, the Central Kansas Foundation contract, again with Annie Grievous.
Thank you, Don. I apologize to you. This is the contract that we sign every year to provide the behavioral health services. CCAF provides a large portion of those services with their staff and their programs. And so we usually try to do a contract with them, just update it. It has been approved by Mike Montoya. I have signed, Les Sperling as CEO of CCAF has signed, and I'm needing County Commission Chair to make final approval, and then the contract is in effect.
Again, questions? Public comment? Action?
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the continuation of this contract as requested by staff.
I second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Item number 5.
RFA 171-15, it's a line item adjustment for FY15, Kansas Department of Corrections juvenile budget, again with Annie Grievous.
Thank you. Again, this is year-end kind of things. If you want to make line item adjustments exceeding $5,000, you have to get board and county commission approval. So every year, you're almost going to see me here requesting to make line item adjustments on one budget or the other, typically. What happens is you get your budget July 1st of last year, and you've put things in where you think they need to go based on your projections over years, but unexpended costs come up in different line items, and you have to then cover those costs. And so the good thing about DOC is that they do let you make those line item adjustments. You don't have to eat that money. And so if it exceeds $5,000, you have to, like I say, get board and commission approval. So in those line item adjustments, they're all from personnel. And I explained to you during the study session why we tend to have a little bit more money in the personnel budgets than we do anywhere else, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing, but that always gives us a little bit of a cushion if something would happen mid-year or staffing changes or those kind of things. So anyway, from every personnel line item, we changed it over, and I'll go through those. Personnel, we changed to equipment in the amount of $3,461.49. From personnel, we changed to contractual in the amount of $1,056.12. From personnel, we changed to equipment in the amount of $3,462.44. And from personnel to contractual, again, $3,422.85. I want to say that these are two, juvenile services comes in one big budget, but we have 3 core programs within those budgets. And so you'll see that 2 of those line items we made from our community case management budget, and two of them we made from the Juvenile Intensive Supervision Program. And we talked about this in the study session, that it's not as simple when you work with state and federal programming through grants, that you don't just get your money and you have to put it where you want it to go and go with it. We take the juvenile services dollars and we divide it into 3 separate budgets. So Rosie Walter, grant budget specialist over my office, doesn't just smile at me when I write a grant and say, great, one budget. No, there's 4 budgets into this one grant and 2 budgets into this other grant. It's very tedious. It's a lot of work. So I want to recognize that and just say that it's not just, the grants are great, but it's not a simple process. So I'm seeking commission approval to forward these on to Juvenile Services KDOC. They have gone in front of the advisory board. I'm needing Commissioner, I think just chairman's signature, yes, chairman's signature to make that final approval and then forward into the Department of Corrections.
All right, questions? Public comment? Commission action?
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the moving of the line item adjustment as requested by our FA 171-15 line item adjustment for FY 15 KDOC juvenile budget.
Very good.
I'll second.
Commissioner
second.
Smith seconded that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That passes 5-0.
Thank you very much.
for your time.
Appreciate it.
I'll have the signatures for you as soon as the meeting's over.
Sounds good.
Okay, thanks. Item number 6.
It's Resolution 15-2171 for annexation of county-owned property.
Think that you read it?
And we have Rita, we have a possible motion here to remove it from the table before you discuss it, or you want to wait till Rita's? Remember that
That's
was
true. We
tabled.
did
That was
table
tabled.
this because we were only at 4 last week. And is that right?
Well, this was actually tabled a couple weeks
2
ago.
weeks ago. I
Yeah.
apologize. Right.
So-
We want to get more information.
Then that's
Right.
So procedurally, do we need to?
Yeah, there's a motion, a proposed motion to remove it from the table, and then you can take action or
Very good.
consider any other consideration for it, yes.
I will accept a motion.
I'd
Remove it from the
move that we
table.
remove it from the table.
Commissioner Price just moved. Is there a second?
I second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Thank you, Don. I
All right.
forgot about that.
Now Rita Deister can take over for
Okay.
staff.
David Neal, who is at a floodplain convention or conference this morning. As part of the interlocal agreement regarding extending infrastructure to the county property along Ohio Street, an annexation is required prior to the city of Saline annexing the infrastructure. As a formal request has been made to the city to extend infrastructure, staff recommends the Board of County Commission petition the city of Salina for annexation. If approved, the Planning and Zoning Department will represent the county during public hearings concerning the annexation. So that's the report, and I think there's a resolution that is before you.
Mm-hmm.
Questions of staff? Is there public comment?
Ray Ruska, 235 North Santa Fe. I didn't see this information that you just read in the agenda, so is it something that was just omitted?
Well, it was in the packet when it was tabled, so. 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
But if you're gonna bring it up again today, you should have put it in today's agenda, shouldn't you? I couldn't even remember that. Monty couldn't either.
That was actually the week I was gone.
Well, here's why I come in.
Yeah, that,
Well,
thank you for your point, though.
I would just like to, point that out because, I can't have any public comment about it because I don't know what's going on.
Okay, thank you. Further public comment? Bring it back to the commission for action.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we remove resolution 50.
Oh, I think
we No.
Mr. I move that we authorize
fine.
the planning and zoning director and legal counsel to petition the city of Salina to annex the property described in Exhibit A.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Item number 7.
We have with us today Register of Deeds Rebecca Seaman with her office update for Rebecca Seaman, Registrar.
Good.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Wasn't sure what all you wanted to talk about this morning, so I chose one of the subjects as being passports. Since this is summertime, it's a good time for everybody to, if they're going to be traveling soon, that they come in and get their passports. We've been doing this for 6 years now, and it's been a very good addition to our office. What people need when they come to our office, there's only one application that we do for the new applications, or if it's older than 15 years. And the 5 things that they need an application filled out in black. They need their proof of citizenship, a picture, their ID, and a check or money order. And our headquarters are in New Orleans, and then we mail the applications to Philadelphia. There's a whole host of things that we have to check for. Our main goal, job is to identify the people. If we suspect fraud, then we report that as well. And so this has been kind of a fun and exciting thing that we've done. We only take them between 8 and 3, so if people have kids and with school starting, this would be a good time for people to come and get them done in the summer when the kids are out of school. The reason we only take them until 3 is because we have to get those in the mail. The agency does not like us to keep anything overnight because of all the sensitive information. We have to get certified every year, so we have a training in Wichita tomorrow that me and my deputy Jane are going to go. The others will get certified through on the computer. So that is one thing. I always usually ask them, has your procedure changed? Can we keep them overnight or not? But that's why our 3 o'clock deadline, which is kind of hard for some people, but we do have to get it in the mail. So far this year, we've done 787 passports. So over the last 6 years, we've done quite a few. Are there any questions about passports?
What's the time frame on those?
Routine service is 4 to 6 weeks.
Right.
They can expedite if they're in a hurry, 2 to 3 weeks for an extra $60, and then they can overnight it for an additional $14.85.
I worked for Congressman Moran when they changed the rules that you needed it for Canada and Mexico. And
I had to call.
We would get 150 calls a day on that because because it just got so clogged. Typical is they passed this new rule, but then they didn't hire any extra people to do the passports, and so.
Yeah.
What was normally taking 6 to 8 weeks to do a passport was taking 4 to 6 months to get a passport done.
Right.
Right. So I'm glad to see that the process is working a little bit
Yeah.
Well, I personally love Becky's office because we are always sending people there. For those of you that don't know, I'm in the travel industry. And there's a lot of times we get asked questions that I'm not even going to guess, so I right away direct them to your office. A couple weeks ago, I had a very difficult question, and so I directed them to your office. It was regarding the gentleman who had come over from Italy. And back then, he was adopted through, I believe, a Catholic organization. They didn't keep track of any records. You didn't need birth certificates. They just had a document that said he was adopted, but he doesn't have a birth certificate. And so now they're wanting to get a passport, and there is no birth certificate. I said, call the Register of Deeds office and see if they can help you. What do you do in instances where courthouses burn down, or places like that burned down, or people were born before they were really taking really good, well, some of those people would be pretty elderly by now, but what happens when there is no birth certificate and they're needing that to show as proof for their passport?
On cases like that, they have to bring everything they can find to prove anything. We take what they have and we send it. And it's not up to us to determine if they get it or not. They may or may not. The passport agency more than likely will contact them. They'll send them a letter and say they need this or that. but
So you don't refuse anybody, you just help them complete the application, and then the final call is out of the Philadelphia office?
right.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we will encourage them to call the agency if they can just explain to an agent on the phone and get some verbal instruction ahead of time. Sometimes that's helpful as well.
Mhm. I know you can't get a passport if you have a felony, is that correct? Or do you know? I think it says on the application.
I've heard that, yes. Sometimes they want to try anyway, and so we will take those and send them off.
And then have Philadelphia then make that final call.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
And sometimes it depends on who they get in Philadelphia, if you know, what they want or not. A lot of complications we've seen is they want people to sign how they normally sign. If they normally print their signature, and so they print it and it matches their driver's license, sometimes they get it back rejected. So it's always kind of hard to tell them how to sign. Middle initials, supposedly it's sad, but the messier signature is, if it matches everything else, you're probably good to go. Whereas if you leave out something that a particular person wants, sometimes that gets them in trouble.
So I'm okay.
And everybody, yeah.
Yeah,
And so
anybody
is our
seen my
county counselor.
signature?
Have you ever seen our county counselor's signature? And everybody has to go individually. We're always stressing to families, you can't take 5 completed applications, like for your kids, like she mentioned. You have to take everybody that is applying for a passport has to be there in person, whether they're 5 years old or 55 years old.
Yes, we have to identify them, baby and all.
You come to your office to renew a passport as well?
We have the renewal applications, and we help a lot of people. We walk them through that, or if they fill it out, we'll look at it before they mail it off on their own. So yes, they can renew it. If it's less than 15 years, they haven't changed their name, they were 16-year-old when they got the passport, they can submit their original passport. It's not been mutilated or anything like that. Then they can renew it on their own. And what that does is it saves them the $25 that they pay us for the application fee.
All right, all good information.
The passport books are $110 for a book. If they're only getting cards, if you're just driving over to Canada, you don't plan on having to fly back for any reason, you can get the card. It's $30 for adults. Kids are $80 for a book, $15 for a card. So I have all kinds of stats if you want, or we can save that for another day.
Yeah, I think this is very helpful.
Okay.
Good. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Is there any public comment or questions? All right. Thank you for being here today. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you.
All right. Item number 8.
Tri-Rivers Fair informational update with Kim Norwood, President of the Tri-Rivers Fair Board.
Thank you. Looking forward to this one too.
Good morning. I'm Kim Norwood, President of the Tri-Rivers Fair Board. Thank you, Commissioners, for the opportunity to be here today. Well, it's almost August. It's really hot outside. So it must be almost time for the Tri-Rivers Fair in Saline County. The fair has a long and rich tradition in our county. According to the Saline Journal, dated September 25th, 1889, the gates of the Saline County Fair were thrown open early yesterday morning. The farmers and the horsemen began taking possession of the different departments, and the cattle were driven in all day in fine numbers. The Tri-Rivers Fair began in Saline County, like most fairs across the country, as a way for locals, particularly rural children and families, to showcase their livestock, horticulture, and home economic abilities. At that time, 4-H played a big part in helping to prepare farm and ranch children to continue the family business. Over the years, as many of the family farms disappeared, the fair evolved to include city folk too. Projects such as rocketry, entomology, photography, and arts and crafts were added. Over the years, many different events have been added to the fair to enhance its flavor and enlarge its appeal. Just to name a few, a parade through downtown Salina, 2 nights of rodeo, commercial exhibits in the Bicentennial Center, 2 nights of demolition derby, a draft horse pull, a big carnival, a cutest kids contest, pee-wee showmanship, This year, a concert before the rodeo by local vocalist Sarah Hawking, and new this year to the grandstand, Redneck Madness, featuring minivan demo, figure 8 races, ATV rodeo, and kids Power Wheels demo. There's no admission charge to the fair, but our grandstand and main events such as the rodeo, the demo derby, the draft horse pull do have a gate fee. We added a new event last year, a silent auction, Buy It Now, featuring numerous items such as gift cards, craft items, tools, and much more in Kenwood Hall with the open class exhibits. This year, our new event is not only fun, but it's a fundraiser for our local cancer centers. It's time to be creative by bedazzling your bra and blinging your boxers. Entry fee is $5, and voting for your favorite begins on Thursday, August 6th. This will also be in Kenwood Hall. As the event and class schedule is too large to list today, a full schedule is available online and then will be published in the upcoming Sunday Saline Journal. The list is extensive and offers something for everyone, from photography to baking to quilting to woodworking to gardening, and that's just still pretty small. The fair is truly a multi-generational event with children, parents, grandparents, and even great-grandparents sharing similar experiences, not only as participants, but also as attendees who come as a family to enjoy these activities and see friends and colleagues, plus enjoy yummy food, spectacular carnival thrills, interesting events, and even fireworks. I'd like to thank the officers and Fair Board members, all of our dedicated volunteers, and the County Commission for your continued support for the Tri-Rivers Fair and Rodeo. We really appreciate it. Can I answer any questions?
I know Commissioner Larson is on the board and is a faithful attendee. And anything to add?
Just want to say what I say every week that I attend after the Fair Board is these people are passionate and hard workers year-round for what you think happens overnight and suddenly happens in 1 week at our fairgrounds. So kudos to everybody and the work's not over yet. It's just beginning.
Yep.
But like I said, they're just very passionate and they work very hard for what they do.
Thank you.
And back when we were in school, Mr. Chair, most of the country kids were the ones that you thought were in 4-H, but now anybody can do 4-H. And so that is just wonderful that you have the city kids with the country kids and they're all coming together and sharing their talents and learning things, whether it be sewing, cooking, photography, or anything to do with the animals. So, great.
Thank you. We enjoy the event very much and appreciate it. Looking forward to the parade. Anything else you'd like to add?
Oh, and the parade time. Please
Yeah,
specify the
that's
time.
7 p.m. next Tuesday.
And it will be over 100.
That's why it's at 7
parade.
p.m.
That's why it's at 7 p.m. as opposed to 5, and we're hoping it's not over 100.
I know, that's nothing
So,
in our control.
Okay,
That's
thank you for
fine.
the opportunity to be here and tell you about the fair. I
Best-
really appreciate it.
Best of luck next week.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. All right, we'll move on to item number 9.
Approval of County Commission minutes for the week of July 21st, 2015.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move we accept the County Commission minutes for July the 21st of 2015
Second.
as presented.
Is there any public comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Any other business that needs to come before the commission today?
Liver and onions at the senior center.
There you go. Seeing none, before we adjourn, oh, yes,
How
I
about
know
an
that you want to say something.
How about an announcement? I'd like to thank KKOA for making the wheels turn in Salina, Kansas for the past week. I think they've done a great job. I don't know how anybody can bring that much art at one time so quickly.
Very good event, definitely.
Yep.
We will be re-adjourning at 1:30 upstairs to talk to our rural fire districts, and we have a jail alternatives session at 3 o'clock, so I would encourage anybody to attend those. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Is this the only thing we have?